Peaceful Sabbath. Welcome to the podcast. And the podcast title is Sabbath Lesson. Are you saved now? I believe it's a beautiful question to ask anyone that deals with the subject of saved. The truth most churches never explain. So this is episode 1 of the podcast. So we're going to get into it. And I'm start with the PowerPoint. Sabbath day lesson, as you see, June the 20th, 2026. So we're going to deal with 3 words: justification, sanctification, and glorification. All of these are stages of save or salvation. You got beginning, middle, end. And all of these are based upon enduring unto the end, which is glorification. So let's go through justification first. Justification, the salvation you receive at the beginning. You got to be justified. It's something you have to do to be justified. We're not going to deal with it in this show, but Paul teach this. Your justification can be made void or overthrown or believed in vain. When you starting off, this is the foundation of everything you're doing. You might be doing it in vain. You might let Satan overthrow you. You can make it void though. So, hey, Paul, you can believe in vain. 1 Corinthians 15, 2 through 1. By which also you are saved if, see the punctuation, and then it say, if you keep in memory what I preach unto you. So Paul is preaching what you need for salvation. Unless you believe what he's preaching in vain. If he preach resurrection and you teach or you believe you can go to heaven, what he's teaching is in vain. But Paul is telling believers, you were saved, but the salvation became void if you did not continue in what I preach. You took another form of the gospel, which is alienated to the truth. This is falling from justification, people. The first stage of salvation. A lot of people don't even have this first stage because they didn't believe in vain. A lot of people, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Why you think when Jesus comes, he gonna say, get away from me? I never knew you. But I gave people money. I did this, I did that, I did. You did all them things in vain because you didn't believe what I said and did what I told you to do. So we're going to go to a second stage now. Like I said, next week we're going to build on this some more. So sanctification, the ongoing walk where you can grow in obedience and in holiness. To be sanctified is to be set apart. Like the Sabbath day, which is in the 10 Commandments. The Lord said, keep the Sabbath day. The Sabbath day is the 7th day of the week. You talk to any basic Christian, Roman Catholic Christian, they're going to tell you the Sabbath day is every day of the week. Huh? That means no day of the week is sanctified. You can go to work any day of the week. You can have sex any day of the week. You can do whatever you want any day of the week. Because now one of them is sanctified and holy and set apart from other days of the week where you only do what the Lord says and be obedient. But Paul warns repeatedly, this stage can be halted, abandoned, or how you say this? I don't even know the term. But anyway, and Paul, you can run in vain. All you're doing and all you've been doing could be in vain, because if you don't have kindness and courtesy and really think about what you're doing, you could be showing love in vain because you really don't love the people. You just doing what the vain people before you taught you to do. You're doing it by habit. You're not doing it out of love. You're not doing it because you're really considerate of the person and how they feel. So Philippians 2:16, it states that I have not ran in vain, neither labored in vain. Ran is like a race, and labor is your work. Why would Paul fear his labor being in vain unless the believers could walk away from the prospect of salvation? You can do anything in vain, but nobody's being told that in a Sunday church. Nobody is told that in a Hebrew Israelite church. Both of them are vain churches. They're not for the Lord God of Israel. They for the Lord God of Hebrew Israelites, whoever that is. And the Roman Catholic got them a Lord God. He's even a European looking dude. But both of them are wrong. Now, we got one more slide. I'm going to keep this slow. Show. I can't even get the word right. But I'm going to keep this very simple today because next week I'm going to go in deeper. And I'm going to keep this same format of justification, sanctification, and glorification. Because I didn't argue with Hebrew Israelites. They don't think you saved until you get glorified. Well, you was justified in vain, and you were set apart, sanctified in vain. Why did you go through those steps? They was all in vain to the ignorant people that don't know they're not in vain. You need them so you can wait on glorification. Glorification happened when you come out the ground, but sanctification happened when you get baptized. Because when you go into the water, you say, I'm throwing all that old stuff away. And when you come out the water, you're supposed to be a new creature. And all the old things are forgotten. Now you look to the future. No longer will I do this or do that. No longer will I break the Sabbath day. No longer will I do this or do that. You got to bring your body into subjection. It's got to do what the Lord say, not what you feel. But a man that don't teach you that is either ignorant of that because he's been running his race forever in vain. He's about to see the Lord, and the Lord finna give him damnation. And he don't even know it because he's been running that race in vain. But like I said, I'm not trying to go too deep. Let's get to this next slide. So, falling from, you shall be saved. Glorification. The end results of justification and sanctification. Glorification, being saved at Christ's return. But some people say he can return any day. So why are you walking around every day afraid of his return and being glorified if you're not doing the other things you should be afraid? But if you're doing them, you should stand in them and say, I'm saved. If Christ came here right now, he gonna tell me you done did a good job. Come over here with me. You done did what I said. So Paul teaches that future salvation is not guaranteed unless the believer endures. You got to endure being sanctified because you're going to be alone. You're going to be by yourself. Ain't nobody going to deal with you, talk to you, do none of that. Well, we can't go to his house on the Sabbath because he ain't going to let us do nothing. He ain't going to do this. He ain't going to do that. That depends on how strict you make things. So, hey, Paul, you can be cut off from the tree of salvation. Romans 11:20-22. Thou standest by faith, but Be not high-minded, my bad, but fear. Otherwise, thou shalt also be cut off. Fear that if you don't do what the Lord say, even after you've been justified and sanctified, you can be cut off because you're still not doing what he say. That's the gist of the whole matter. Did you do what the Lord say? Or you did what your lying preacher lied to you about and told you and put some propaganda on you? Being cut off. Lose your place in God's final salvation. That's the foundation of today's show, people. We will go into this more deeper. Probably the rest of the week we might go into it. It won't be no Sabbath lesson, but I got 6 days to the next Sabbath. But this right here needs to be known because some people go get baptized in vain. Because the people that baptized them don't even believe that once they go in the water and come out, they're born again. Because they don't know what born again is. So they do it in vain. They just washing their tails. Well, hopefully they ain't funky no more after they come up out this water, because that's all they doing. And baptism so quick that if you was nasty and stinking when you went in that water, you're going to be nasty and stinky when you come out that water. So that's the show. Hopefully y'all learned something. Hopefully you care for it, because I'm out here trying to protect your salvation. I'm faithful that if the Lord came right now, he'll tell me I did a good job. Get over here. I ain't worried about a thing. But your salvation, what you being misled by, because ain't nobody over me mislead me. The Lord God of Israel is the only person over me, and he's never misled me. But with that said, I'm going to say peace, love. See y'all tomorrow. Peace. I'm out.